Watch what you bet tonight, Teddy. The Mavericks head to Brooklyn on Monday night. The Nets -5. Total is about 224.5. Moneyline spread 173 -207. 7:30 p.m. NBA TV tonight. Dallas been pretty good on the road this year against the number, Teddy. 23-15, 12-12 against the spread as a road dog. 6-2 against the spread in the Atlantic Division. But how about this, Teddy? Out of conference, 17-7 against the number for those Dallas Mavericks. Brooklyn 11-9 against the spread as a favorite. 16-18 against the spread at home this year. Should be a good one tonight, lacing it up in Brooklyn. See if Brooklyn can continue their nice ways at home here.
Well, I mean, the Nets haven't had nice games at home. You know, they're 5-10 in their last 15. 6 of those losses came by double digits. They've lost 5 of their last 7 at home. And, oh, by the way, they're going on a 7-game road trip later this month. So it's a Net squad that isn't playing their best basketball right now. Head coach Kenny Atkinson. This is kind of like playoff time, and teams raise their level. So just playing good defense isn't enough. We have to take another step up, and the contests have to be a little better. And the individual defense has got to be a little better. We got to turn it up a notch. Just being okay or good isn't good enough right now with teams desperate to get in the playoffs. I like quotes like that. All that being said, the Nets have lost their last 3 games by a combined 49 points. They're giving up 121 points during that span on 49% shooting, and they can't hit the broadside of a barn. They've been ice cold offensively. So not always easy to lay points with Brooklyn in this type of spot, considering they've been struggling so badly on both ends of the floor. But I don't want any part of this Dallas team right now. I really don't. They've lost 6 of their last 7. You talked about all the point spread success they had, and make no mistake about it. The All-Star break, the Mavs, number 1 against the spread team in the NBA, profitable in every single role. But they traded 4 of the 5 starters. Now it's Luka and whoever they can get production from. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been good. But the bottom line is this is a Dallas team that isn't what they were a month ago. And this is a circle the wagons game for Brooklyn.
Teddy, to live and die in L.A., do or die time for LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers. Clippers-Lakers, Battle of L.A. at the Staples Center. Totals 237.5. Line sitting at about -4. 10:30 tonight, NBA TV. Man, there's about 20 games to go still, and it's a must-win game situation for those Lakers. The one interesting thing about both of these teams, Teddy, Clippers 10-3 against the number versus the division, and the Lakers, one of the few bright spots, 9-3 against the spread against the division as well. The Lakers really need this, but as we know in gambling, Teddy, just because you need it doesn't always mean you get it.
Yeah, and this is a really interesting point spread because this point spread is saying the Lakers are the better of these two teams on a neutral floor right now, which is interesting to see. And, of course, the Clips were supposed to be tanking. They traded away a bunch of veterans at the trading deadline. They have, I believe, the youngest starting five, one of the youngest starting fives in the NBA. You know, they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's 20 years old. You pick up Ivica Zubac and Landry Shamet, who are both 21 years old. I mean, they're a really young team. And, instead of tanking, they're 6-3 since retooling that lineup, playing good ball, both ends of the floor, which is something the Lakers obviously have not been doing. LA with the no-show start against Phoenix. Luke Walton's quote, "I'm happy with the fight we showed in the fourth quarter, but where we're at in the season, that's the desperation we need to start the game with." Of course, they trailed by as many as 19 in that ballgame. LeBron James, it's just unfortunate with the opportunity that we've had. We haven't been able to seize that opportunity. You know, Lakers 4.5 games behind the Spurs right now, 5 games back of the Clippers, although it's worth noting, this is the type of game the Lakers have to win if they're going to make a push. I haven't seen much, that I think that fall apart against the Bucks on Friday night, that may well still linger in tonight. I can't lay points with the Lakers this evening.
Teddy, will UVA continue its non-Duke ACC demolition? If you just kick Duke out of the ACC and out of college basketball, Virginia would be kings, but we know we can't do that, and Duke has had their numbers, but they head up to the Carrier Dome to play tonight, 7 p.m., national game, ESPN. Let's see, Virginia, what we talked about earlier here to dip into a little bit more. If you're taking them, great 401k retirement program, 21-7 against the number in all line gains. 19-7 against the numbers of favorites, 7-1 against the spread as a road favorite, and 9-1 against the spread overall on the road. Getting it done home, away against everybody. Obviously not against Duke, but they did cover one of those games against Duke already. Syracuse 17-12 ATS in all line games, 10-8 in the Carrier Dome. Big game tonight. What I always like about Virginia, Teddy, they're going to find the open shot. If you can shoot over that matchup 2-3 zone, which Virginia has the components to do, you should have a good time going against them. But then again, Carrier Dome, always tough to shoot. New optics, going to have 35,000 people there. Big game tonight, Teddy, in the ACC.
Yeah, and I remember the Virginia cover against Duke. You remember that three-pointer at the buzzer?
Late ball, late jumper. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put money in my pocket, but the Cats were not the right side in that ball game. That being said, they've been the right side in every other pretty much ACC road game. 9-1 on the highway this season? They were pretty close to that last year. I think something like 17-1 the last 18 conference road games. It's been really sick for Virginia, maybe 17-2. They've been absolute monsters on the highway. That being said, they lost their last time up in the Carrier Dome. They lost the time before that up in the Carrier Dome. Syracuse, number 32 in the country in scoring defense. Virginia's number 1 in that category. In fact, their win over Pitt over the weekend, the 10th different opponent that the Cavs have held under 50 points so far this season. And the last 2 times Virginia has won in Syracuse, well, the losing team didn't get to 50 in either of those games either, both staying well under the total. Now, it is a Saturday, Monday turnaround with travel. Tony Bennett, Virginia head coach. In a sense, you have to be ready to go. You have to be smart with your preparation the day in between, and you're in usually a hostile environment. It's certainly a challenge. We're in some important games, and I think it's a healthy challenge. I'll tell you what, Donnie, I ain't betting against Virginia on the highway, and I ain't betting a Virginia game over the total. So if I'm getting involved here, it's Cavs and or under in this one.